Good morning. How are we doing today? Today we're going to talk about some signs that you're eating out of boredom and some ways to break that habit. So, sometimes we eat for other reasons than just being hungry, right? And eating when you're not hungry could mean that you're eating only because you're feeling bored or you're stressed or you're feeling some kind of emotion, anxiety, overwhelm, things like that. So we're all guilty of mindless eating. Myself, I know if I have food in front of me, I will tend to pick at it, whether it's something that's nice and healthy or if it's something that's not really the healthiest choice, just because it's there, it's in front of me. But if you do find yourself overeating more than you would like, you may want to try being extra mindful about eating, out of something other than hunger, especially since emotional eating can really be such a problem for so many of us. So I'm Kelsie Michaud, and I'm a certified health and life coach, and I help people to gain control of emotional eating so that they can feel healthy and confident as they make peace with food in their body. So you know that you are eating out of boredom if you are just reaching for anything that's handy and it's really maybe not the healthiest item to be choosing at the time. This is usually a good sign that you're just eating out of boredom, because you're not concerned about the nutrients that are in that particular food, or you're just simply eating for a psychological reason. Hi Janet, how are you? Thanks for coming on. Hi Suzanne, how are you today? So, what you want to do is you really want to plan out your meals. Plan out your meals and create a shopping list around doing that, around your planning your meals can really help. I know for myself, I think about that every week before I go shopping. I'm always thinking of like one step ahead. I'm thinking of the week ahead, so that I'm thinking, all right, what do I want to have next week for a meal? What do I want to eat? What do I want to make for the family? What kind of foods do I want to have in the house? And a lot of times I only cook twice a week, because lucky for me, I don't mind leftovers, and my husband especially doesn't mind leftovers. He's just happy to have a meal in front of him. So I will cook a nice healthy meal that will last us for a few days, and then say I'll do that on Monday, and then come again like maybe Wednesday or Thursday, I will create this whole new meal, and that will get us through a few days as well. And it saves so much time. It's so much easier. All you have to do is just reheat things up. And also I like to keep things in the fridge, like some nice cut up veggies. I always have fresh fruit in the fridge. We always have hard-boiled eggs ready to go, sitting in the fridge for us, a nice protein source. And sometimes I'll have some grilled chicken in there just to choose from, so that we have these healthier options. Those are things that I do to help plan and prepare for my week, so that we have the healthier options to grab from. So, hi Gianna, how are you? Thanks for coming on. So another sign is that you keep coming back. Say like you eat and then you come back like an hour or two later. So this is just a really classic sign that you're an emotional eater. People who are emotional eaters, they tend to kind of graze all day long, and they're never really feeling that like fully satisfied, because they're feeding emotions, they're not feeding the hunger. So let's see, Suzanne, I love hard-boiled eggs. Yes, they're a perfect snack. They're great, and they're easy to just keep in the fridge. My gosh, we buy like the big 60-pack, and we boil those up, and those get us sometimes through the week. My husband eats a lot of them, but even for myself and for my daughter, my little one, she loves like a bowl of fruit for an afternoon snack. But I love to throw like an egg white. I'll just throw a hard-boiled egg white in there for her, and she loves it. And then that way she's not just getting the carbs and the sugar from the fruit, she's getting the protein too, so it's a more balanced snack, so that she's not asking me for another snack like 2 minutes later. So, hi Cheryl, how are you? Thanks for coming on. Okay, so that's another way, just as an example, something that I do that you could incorporate too. And again, this is where having that plan in place, being prepared, and I hear a lot, I'm hearing it so much about like meal prepping and meal planning and things like that. Just having some simple healthier options for snacks on hand can really go a long way and help you out in the long run. So even if you're eating because you're bored, or you're you're grazing, which can be a sign also that you're not fully satisfied. So like what happens with that, where say if you're just grazing and you're picking, well, you might not be giving yourself things that are balanced. You might just be picking things that are maybe all carb type foods. And with that, your body's not feeling like it's getting all the vitamins and minerals and nutrients that it really needs. So that's why your body and your brain are like, all right, I still need something else. I still need to find something. Hi, Lynn, how are you? So that's why you'll continue to keep going and picking on things. So once you give your body what it really needs, some nice vitamins and nutrients, and nourish it properly with a more balanced meal and a balanced snack, like I just mentioned with my daughter, I'll throw an egg white in there for her, so that way it's more balanced and she's not asking me for a snack, right away again. So that's something to keep in mind too. If that's something you feel like you tend to do quite often, and you're constantly looking for something else, soon after you just ate. So let's see. Suzanne says, have a great day and thank you for all your knowledge. Thank you, Suzanne. Thank you for being here. And I'm assuming you have to hop off. So maybe you can catch the rest of the replay later, or I just appreciate you being here today. So enjoy your day as well. Okay. So like I said, you want to keep all of these snacks and meals balanced. So make sure that you're planning out like well-rounded and more satisfying meals. That way you won't continue to feel like you need to snack or graze throughout the day. And, especially like between your meals, if you're grabbing something that's a healthier option, because healthy snacks between meals will also help you maintain healthy levels of your metabolism, okay? And also your energy levels. You're not going to feel tired and sluggish. You're not going to feel like you're really just, I need something to eat. You're going to feel good if you're making those good choices and keeping it balanced. So another thing is, if you find yourself in front of the fridge, just kind of, you open up the fridge doors and you're like, what can I eat? What can I have? What sounds good? What do I have in here? What can I choose from? Well, if your stomach isn't actually leading you to the fridge, with this clear direction of exactly knowing what you want and how much you want to eat, this is a huge clue that you might be just eating out of boredom, okay? Hi, Angie, how are you? So that's another thing to kind of just pinpoint and look out for. And really then at that point, say to yourself, okay, really, do I really need to eat right now? What is it that I'm really needing? What do I really want at this point? What am I feeling? So you should know ahead of time what you want to eat. And if you can't remember, like say you can't even remember how the food tasted, well, that's another sign that you are probably eating out of boredom, or you're just eating mindlessly, because many people will dissociate when they're eating out of boredom. Like their mind will tend to wander and they lose track, and they're not even sure even how much they ate, never mind what they ate. So, it's sometimes like something will kind of like just bring you back to reality. And if you need to like maybe have a mental check here, like mentally check in instead of checking out, then especially while you're eating, it's because sometimes it's hard to remember, what did I just eat? What did I just do? And then you didn't even enjoy it. Okay, so sometimes when we eat mindlessly like that, that tends to happen. So to stop eating out of boredom, it's so important. We have to manage our stress levels, for one, because eating out of boredom, it's emotional eating. It's a form of emotional eating. So you want to try to identify and really understand and manage your stress. So emotional eating can be a sign of letting that stress get to you. So you can control it in healthier ways, through exercise and talking to supportive friends and getting enough sleep and just eating a balanced diet. And especially with sleep, like, have you ever noticed there's some days where you feel a little hungrier than others? And I know for myself, some days I feel like that, and I'll be like, oh, I'm so hungry today. I wonder why, what's different? Well, sometimes that's because you didn't get enough or adequate sleep the night before, because sleep can really affect your hunger, hunger hormone. And if you didn't get enough sleep, then that hunger hormone is going to ramp up for that next day for you. So that's something to keep in mind and think about, or at least understand why you may be so hungry the next day. So something you can do is even try to create a food journal to stop the mindless eating, because once you have it on a piece of paper, or even just get a notebook and, like make 3 columns and ask yourself these questions. Okay, like what type of food am I reaching for? What is my emotional state? Like what's going on in my life right now? What's leading me to this emotion? And like what's an alternative? What's an alternative behavior to eating the junk food? Okay, those are the things that you can ask yourself, and write them all down and answer those questions. And doing this can actually help you to pinpoint what exactly is fueling your emotional eating. Okay, and something else you can do, ask yourself if you're actually feeding your body, or are you feeding your emotions? Okay, those are things that all these questions we can stop and ask ourselves. And even just stopping in that moment, it stops us from going right to the food and giving yourself a minute. And sometimes it gives you just enough time to have that craving kind of go away or disappear. But it's really important to make that distinction between the two. Are you eating to satiate hunger or provide nutrients? It's certainly different than eating to just satiate your boredom. Okay, especially like even if you're trying to satiate like your stress or your anxiety. Okay, they're totally 2 different things. So and of course, if you really are truly hungry, it's more than okay to eat. But if you find that you're just simply eating out of the habit of feeling stressed, try doing something else that's going to take your mind off of it for a little bit, and then really then see how you feel. And keeping healthy foods on hand, like I've mentioned earlier, that I keep some nice healthy cut up veggies and fruits and all this kind of stuff in my fridge and ready to go. Instead of having foods that are going to make you like more prone to like overeat or emotionally eat, try to keep just more healthier foods around. And that's not to say like don't keep any of the not so healthy foods around, because then you'll never learn how to live with them. But just have more of the healthier alternatives so that they're just there and they're ready to go and they're easy to grab, and it's more likely that that's what you're going to go for. Okay, hi Janice, how are you? Thanks for coming on with us. So you want to, another thing that you could do, if you do have if you do have your favorite junk food in the house and you have it on hand, what you can do to help you not overeat it is portion it out. Measure it out or weigh it out into little serving bowls or little baggies, whatever is convenient for you. And that way, like before you start eating, that can actually help you stop and learn when you actually feel full. Okay, because that gives you makes you eat slower, because it's all portioned out. So you're not just going to have, say, like a whole bag of chips in your hand and then just continue to mindlessly eat them. Where if it's all portioned out, okay, this is what I'm having, this is the portion that I'm going to have, and then that's it, I'm done after that. And then that gives you a minute to actually feel your fullness and feel what that actually feels like, rather than getting past that fullness and being really uncomfortable. Okay, and that's you want to honor your fullness. I talk about that quite a bit. So, and another thing, through all of this, you want to be kind to yourself and know that this is a process. Hi, Kathy. It's definitely a process. I'm not expecting you to just go off and take all of that I tell you and just go and just do all this today and be perfect and eat mindfully and intuitively and honor your hunger and fullness, and no problem, that's it, you're good to go. It's definitely a process. It takes time. But if you do just a little bit, do a little bit today, a little bit the next day, a little bit the day after that, all of a sudden it turns into a new habit. Okay, so that's how it works. So it can be, really easy to beat yourself up when it comes to your eating patterns, but this can also lead you to just self-sabotaging yourself. Like, you really want to be kind to yourself and try to work on changing like that inner self-talk to be like more positive self-talk. So self-talk, it can either be your worst enemy or it can be your best friend. So when you're thinking thoughts like, I'm such an emotional mess, and that's probably going to keep you stuck in more like unhealthy patterns. While if you think of more, say something like, I'm going to take charge of my health and I'm going to manage my stress better, that's going to lead you to more healthier behaviors and a healthier lifestyle. So let me know if you have any questions at all about the content I covered, or even any of your own personal health and weight goals that you'd like to discuss, or questions that come up for you, anything that you may wonder about. And also I have 3 spots left available for this week for complimentary consultations if anybody would like to jump into one. And that's where we can just dive really deep into your own health and weight goals, and I can show you how I can take you from where you are now to where you'd like to go, if that's something you'd like to look further into. But I hope you all have a very beautiful day, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye, guys.